Hey everyone, good afternoon. Cynthia Ray here, your coach. I'm just finishing up a little snack, so just wanting to say hi to everybody today. It's 12:30, and initially I plan on doing this live Q&A a little bit later in the afternoon, but totally forgot I have kids' activities today, baseball and music class and so on. So anyhow, if you aren't able to be here at this time, no biggie. And you're watching this recorded, you can feel free to follow along with us and answer the questions, or I can answer the questions that you have. So anyway, I hope you guys are all doing well today. So today, what I'd like to teach you a little bit about is label reading. So I know that actually the FDA, the Federal Drug Administration, the Food and Drug Administration, they usually change the food labels. So you're going to find that they aren't always the same, and even different types of food might have different types of food labels. But I'm going to share my screen with you, and I have a food label available here. Let me see. Here it is. So what we have here is two different food labels. So they're similar. So they're both considered nutrition facts labels on the top. And they both have the serving size and basically the same information, just in a different format. So for this one here, it says, so nutrition facts, serving size is 1 cup. So a serving of what, let's say this is a bag of popcorn. So this particular serving size is 1 cup of popcorn. And in the whole entire container or bag, there's about 6 servings or 6 cups, okay? And each serving, each 1 cup serving, contains 250 calories. And then of those calories, there's 30 calories from fat. So of those 250, 30 of those calories are from fat. And this is all, again, for 1 cup of popcorn, which doesn't seem about right for 1 cup. It's a lot of calories. Let's say it's a bag of chips, high-fat chips, high-calorie chips. Anyway, and then for each 1 cup, this definitely isn't popcorn, 7 grams of fat. So let's say it's a bag of greasy chips. So the total for 1 cup is, total fat is 7 grams, right, for 1 cup. If you eat the whole container, which is 6 cups, then you'll multiply 6 times 7, and it'll give you the total fat for the whole package. Okay, so over here, it says percent daily value, and it's 11% of the daily value of fat for the day. So this is all based on if you're eating, down here it says a 2,000 calorie diet. So if you're eating about a 2,000 calorie diet, which is just a general, in the middle calorie amount, and your calories definitely could be different than this, or they could be 2,000. If you're eating about 2,000 calories in your diet, this is 11% of the total daily value for somebody who is eating 2,000 calories. So saturated fat under that, so there's different types of fat. There's saturated fat and trans fat. And there's also monounsaturated fat, unsaturated fat. But on the food label, they only have saturated fat, which is the unhealthy fat. It's the fat that's solid at room temperature, like either animal fat, like in the marbling in meat. It's actually saturated fat. So it's solid at room temperature, and when you cook it or heat it up, it melts. Another one like that would be butter, where it's solid at room temperature, and then when you melt it, when you heat it, it melts. And also coconut oil is like that as well. So those are considered saturated fats. And then trans fat is actually chemically created fat. That type of fat is basically like in prepackaged foods, in cookies, cakes, different prepackaged goods, even some crackers contain trans fat in them that are actually chemically created. They're actually a form of saturated fat. They just change the molecular bonds in the saturated fat and create a trans fat, which is actually a chemical term. So those aren't healthy. I wouldn't recommend those and avoiding those. Cholesterol. So cholesterol is how much cholesterol is in the food. Cholesterol is only found in animals. So it has to be some kind of an animal product to contain cholesterol in it. And then sodium, 300 milligrams. 2,000 milligrams a day is, you know, ideal or less per day. So 300 milligrams is 13% of that. Total carbohydrate. Okay, so here we go with the carbohydrates. So with total carbohydrate, it tells us this particular product has 30 grams of carbohydrates. Those 30 grams of carbohydrates are all types of carbohydrates that are found in this food, right? So different types of carbohydrates would either be dietary fiber or sugars. So the sugars that are in here are actually not only the sugars that are naturally found or occurring in that food. Let's say it's a bag of potato chips, right? So sugars could also include starches, and potatoes obviously have starches in them. It also could include if there's any added sugar in it. So if it's like sweet, has some sweetener, like it's kind of some kind of like what are those called? Like churro chips, you know, if they're sweetened, then they will also include that in the sugars. So this is naturally occurring sugar and added sugar. And in order to find out what this is composed of, you have to look at the ingredients label to see what's in there. And then of course, dietary fiber is in there, which is 3 grams. And you want to have about 3 to 5 grams of fiber per serving if you're eating something like bread or something that's whole wheat for your general health. So anywhere between 3 and 5 servings, 3 and 5 grams per serving is ideal. All right, and then we have protein here, 5 grams. So this particular item, 1 cup, contains 5 grams of protein. It has 7% of the daily value of vitamin A, 15% of the daily value of vitamin C, 20% of the daily value of calcium, and 32% of the daily value of iron. Again, all 4 based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So down here, it'll give you the breakdown of how much fat, cholesterol, total carbs, and dietary fiber there would be for a 22,000 calorie diet and a 2,500 calorie diet. All right. So, and then this food label here is the same thing. It's just written in a little bit of a different format. All right. So I just want to give you a cue on that. So if you're looking at sugars in a food, you want to take a look, like I said, at the label and see what kinds of sugars are in it. If it's sugar like raisins or an apple that don't have any added sugar in it, that's fine. You're okay with that because it's whole food sugar that has extra nutrients, fiber, and water in it outside of just refined sugar. So if it has added sugar, you want to make sure, like for example, like yogurt. Usually yogurt is really high in sugar and it seems to be like a healthy type food, but it's actually really not necessarily, unless you get plain yogurt and then add your own berries and some honey in it. But as far as sugars go, I usually go for something, you know, that's probably about, I don't know, 7 grams or less. For something, I know we were talking about dark chocolate yesterday, and that only has, I believe, 2 to 3 for a big, large serving, which we don't normally eat in one sitting anyway. So it's pretty minimal. But in general, I would say anywhere between 7 and under grams of added sugar is what you want to look for. So anyway, so hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions about that, and I can help you. Let me go, I have to open my phone to look at Facebook to see if you guys have any questions for me. Okay. Where am I? I don't see myself live on my app. Okay, here we go. So yeah, so let me know. I'm here if you have any questions to answer your questions for this group. So let me know what questions you have about what we're doing so far, about sugars, about counting sugars, about food labels, about ingredients in the food, about what to eat, about what not to eat, about what we're avoiding. So I know though that it can be challenging. Probably I would say like within the first 3 to 5 days, let me close this out real quick. 3 to 5 days of doing, of removing sugar from your diet is usually the hardest time, because I know I've done plenty of cleanse groups in the past, and usually probably between day 3 and 5, 1 and 2 aren't so bad, you know, because we're kind of getting used to it. By day 3 and 5, our bodies are noticing, I'm missing something. I really I'm not getting that sugar that I normally get in. So if you feel that way, I want to give you a few different items that you can supplement or replace while your body kind of clears it. Another thing that may happen is you may experience headaches or withdrawals. Um, excuse me. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water. And if you haven't yet, to start getting some exercise, whether it's just going for a walk. I know it's over here in North Idaho, it's still pretty nice outside. Um, and if you're in California, wherever you happen to be, if it's nice enough to go for a walk, get some fresh air, go for a walk, help to circulate your system a little bit. You'll also notice too when you're detoxing sugar that, or detoxing anything, that you might lose a significant amount of weight after like the 5th day, because your body is actually starting to clear the toxins from your body. So toxins are stored in our fat cells. And when we start to detox, or they'll start to come out, when they're stored, they go in with water and they hang out in your fat cells. When you clear them, when you remove it from your diet and add in healthier options, the water and the toxins come out of your fat cells and they shrink quickly. So a lot of times people will notice a change in their body weight once you have like that flush out period during a detox. So that's pretty exciting. So look forward to that. And that flush out though brings the toxins out of your cells and they circulate in your system until you can flush it out in your urine, feces, or with sweat. So exercising can help just depending on how you're feeling. If you feel headachy or tired, that's actually a common symptom. It's called a Herx reaction. It's named after a scientist, Herxheimer, something like that. But anyway, so he does share that it's a Herx reaction when you're getting those symptoms, kind of like flu-like symptoms, where you're detoxing and the toxins are coming out of your cells and circulating in your system, and you're feeling fatigued, headache, maybe even a rise in body temperature, just kind of like body aches, and you're feeling like you have a slight flu. But it's really not. It's just that the toxins are circulating in your system and getting ready to be eliminated. So exercise does help, drinking plenty of fluids to excrete those, and just continuing with your healthy diet. If you have a headache, you can always do a little bit of aspirin. I like to do peppermint essential oil and put it on my temples, or I take a little bit and put it on my thumb and then put it on the roof of my mouth and hold it there for a few seconds. And it really helps to alleviate the headache as well. So if that's happening to you, let me know, and I'm happy to help with getting through that. But plenty of rest and water is definitely key. So, and it only lasts a short period of time, maybe 1 to 2 days at the most. So, so just hang tight if that's happening for you, and knowing that it's actually a good thing that your body's clearing out the toxins. All right, so like I said, make sure you're really hydrated and that you're getting everything that you need with fluid and nutrition, plenty of protein and things like that. So the other thing is some really great sugar substitutes or sugar alternative sweet treats that I like to call, that you can enjoy instead of eating sugar. So one of the things that I really like, and I'll actually send you a list too. One of the things I really like I shared yesterday, is the 85% or higher dark chocolate. It's very low in sugar, high in nutrients. It's higher in fat, but it's nice because it's very satisfying. Has a slight tinge of caffeine in it, so you might get a little energy boost when you enjoy that. And just, limit it to maybe 1 or 2 little squares and just suck on them and savor them. They're so good, and they just really are satisfying overall. It also provides a good amount of magnesium, which I mentioned yesterday could be why people crave sugar if they're depleted in magnesium. The other thing, so dark chocolate is great. The other thing that you can do, which I really like, is I'll get a piece of fruit, whether it's an apple or a banana, and I will dip it in nut butter. I really like sunflower seed butter. It doesn't matter which kind, really. You can do peanut butter, almond butter, sunflower seed butter, whatever your preference is, and you can dip apples or banana, whatever you like, you can dip your dark chocolate in it. Get a little piece of your dark chocolate and dip it into your nut butter. So good. So satisfying. Okay. My daughter also, she really likes to slice up bananas and put a little bit of whipped cream on top. And there's whipped cream by chance happens to be pretty low in sugar. So she'll do that and drizzle just a little bit of dark chocolate sauce on top and it tastes like an ice cream sundae. It's amazing. The other thing you can do is coffee. I love having some cold brewed coffee, or maybe even just a decaf hot coffee, and I'll put in some unsweetened coconut milk in there, or I'll steam. I have a little steamer for my espresso machine at home, or I'll steam some unsweetened coconut milk and put it in there. So good. It's so satisfying. It really helps to clear your palate, especially if you're just wanting like that mouth urge to want something sweet. So doing that is really good. It helps me a lot. I like to make smoothies. So you can do like a chocolate protein powder smoothie with some fruit in it. What else can you do? Oh, sparkling water. If you like sparkling water with some flavor, that actually really helps too with neutralizing the flavor in your mouth if you're craving something sweet. And even I think they sell some paleo cookies around there. They're actually, I don't know, forget, I used to use a kind that I used to recommend to my groups in my cleanse groups, but I don't know where they are. I have to find them. But if you can find paleo cookies that are low in sugar, that's a really another good option. But anyway, that's a few of the things. So there's plenty of things out there that you can try to use as an alternative to grabbing something sweet. So the other thing too is if you're wanting to eat something sweet, make sure that it's only the best. You know, when we get to that point later on, don't settle. You are totally worth the best. If you see something lying around, you're like, oh, a cookie, I'll grab it, and you mindlessly eat it, let's stop doing that, because you don't want to waste those opportunities, which you can have something really tasty as a special treat. And only go for the best. If you want something sweet, plan out a time to have it. So maybe plan out a day where you're going to enjoy a sweet treat, or if you're on a date night with your spouse, make it your night to get something together and enjoy it. Make a moment of it instead of just grabbing and go. Do it on purpose, do it intentionally, and you'll get and eat it mindfully, eat it slowly. I'll tell you more about mindful eating later. I know some of you know of it because you've been in my groups before, but just eat it mindfully and enjoy it, and you'll get way more out of it than just grabbing it just because it's something to eat real quick on the go. So anyhow, so that's just kind of a preview of that. I'm going to be sharing next Monday more about that, and also about when the right time to eat sugar is the best time for your body. So anyway, so in the meantime, we're going to be sugar-free until at least day 7, and then you have the option to bring it back in day 8 through 10, and I can teach you how to navigate that. If you want to keep it out till day 10, that's fine too, and I'll still teach you how to navigate it when it comes back into your life. So let's see if we have any questions. Okay, so hey, Cynthia. Let's see, she says, do you recommend the low-carb flour tortilla wraps? Yeah, that's fine. It's totally an option. You don't have to have it. You can even do whole wheat ones, because it's not necessarily a matter of eating carbs or not. It's just the matter of having enough protein in your diet and lots of color to balance it out. So yeah, carbs are an option. It's just making sure that you have them in the right amounts for a healthy diet. Thank you. All right, and then you say, are we supposed to wait the 5 days before we eat dark chocolate? Supposed to wait the 5 days before we eat dark chocolate. Oh, no, you can actually have it now. If it's 85% or more, it's a low sugar thing, and between 1 and 2 grams of sugar is kind of negligible. So as long as you're eating the portion or less, then you're totally fine, and you can enjoy and savor that. So yeah. Anybody else have any questions while I'm on? And if you're watching this recorded, go ahead and ask your questions in the comments, and I will go back and answer them. I'll type up the answers, and you can get those whenever you're on. So anyway, so that is pretty much all for today for me, and I'm here for you. Let me know if you have any questions. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but if I am, I will also add it to this post and let you know what's on my mind. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Over here it's gorgeous outside. Hopefully it is where you are too. And I will see you guys soon. Awesome work, everybody. Take care. Bye.